Hello, everyone. What's the tea? I am Joshua Gilyard, the creator, founder, and I guess Queen of the Ratchet. Yes, I'm a guy, but whatever. You can call me she, he, they, whatever fits you. I love being called Queen too. Um, I thought I'd get on here and just like talk to you guys for a little bit, shoot the shit with you, cuz I normally don't do that, but I'm trying to put my face on the brand a little bit more. And I really just want to say thank you for following this brand and just showing your love and following the different storylines. And I don't like, I never thought that Queen of the Ratchet would be such a staple or have such a cult following. And I really want to thank you guys that support me. It means the world to me. I actually created this brand like a joke. Like I was joking around kind of when I created it. It was created when Vine. I don't know if you guys remember Vine. This was before TikTok, and it's kind of showing my age a little bit, but it was before TikTok. There was this app called Vine, and I would get on it, and I was like, "This is gonna be the biggest thing. It's gonna take off. It's gonna make people's careers and all that." Mind you, it did. A lot of people were like, "You're a fool. This is a stupid app." The same way a lot of people were kind of like not getting into TikTok, but TikTok is making a lot of people a lot of money. So I got on Vine and I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I was like making videos, but I was like, I don't know, like I don't know what to do like with my brand on here. And so, I've always been like a writer and an actor and always wanted to like do stories. I have several shows that I've written in the past. And I think what made me create Queen of the Ratchet was Ratchet content was always really popular, and it still is very popular on social media. And I saw a lot of people like making quote unquote ratchet content, and I was like, it would be funny if I called myself the Queen of the Ratchet. So I based my first video, which was like me ranting in the camera. And it was basically how like Nicki Minaj calls herself the Queen of Rap. So I was like doing it as a joke. I was like, yeah, I'm Queen of the Ratchet. You motherfuckers can't touch me. I'm the queen, blah, 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 blah. So fast forward, it became like a theme that I wasn't really like taking off, but I kind of enjoyed doing it. And so I was looking at Disney one day, I don't know, on YouTube or something. And I was like, well, it would be fun to add this to the brand. And mind you, I had followers, I had things that would like hit on Vine, but I was never like really popular. Like I was like a needle in a haystack. It's like when you found me and you stayed. And like you stayed for a while. So I remember my first ever, because a lot of you guys know the voiceovers, the Queen of the Ratchet voiceovers that I do. And my first one was Disney's The Bad Girls Club. And it was basically Lady Tremaine. And I was like, like I was looking at Cinderella, and I was like, it looks like she wants to tell her, Tremaine looks like she wants to tell her to shut the fuck up. And so I looked at the video. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like these Disney characters actually talked not so G-rated? And so I looked at the video again and I was like, shut the fuck up. And I just started ranting, and I was like having so much fun with it and thought it was the funniest thing. I said, oh my God, this is going to hit. This is going to take off. This is going to be great. So I put the video out there, and it like people found it funny, but it really didn't do anything. So I was like, whatever, I'm enjoying this. So then a lot of you who really like are like probably my biggest character is Cruella. So I did this video of Cruella and I was looking at it and I was like, it's a scene where she's like talking to Anita and Roger. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if she was like telling Anita that her man is gay and like they've been living this secret lie and everything? So I just started ranting again and improving and came up with that and put it out there. And it was still like called the Disney's Bad Girls Club. It was like with Queen of the Ratchet, but really it was called the Disney's Bad Girls Club. So I put that video out there. Didn't really hit. Didn't really do that well. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this isn't really taking off. Like, I thought this would be a great idea because nobody else is doing anything like this. Mind you, at the time, like I was doing Vine, but I was creating other shows, like a lot other shows that I've done. Like I've done Oddly Odin, which was like a black HBO version of Modern Family meets Blackish, but it's a little bit more cable friendly. And I was pitching that idea, and then I started doing Guncle, which is like this show about me and my niece and nephew, and it was like really G-rated. So Queen of the Ratchet was this thing where I could just like be myself fully, cussing, doing whatever, saying whatever, filter off, and there was no restrictions, and it was just me. So then like Christmas came around during the time of Vine, and I was listening to this Christmas song, Carol of the Bells. And so I'm listening to it and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I put out this parody of Ratchet Christmas music, which they've done before, but I was like, I've never done it. And I've never really written. And I was like humming a tune. I was like, girl, that's a bell. Yes, you can tell. You're wondering if he's cheating. So I put the video out there, created a Queen of the Ratchet page, put the video out there, went viral. And I had never really filmed it before. Like I wasn't really like, I was a filmmaker, but I always had someone shooting for me. So that was the first time I put the video out there, and it did so extremely well, but I didn't know what to do with the success, you know what I mean, of the viral video. Because this was a time where viral was happening, but it wasn't like really happening. It was happening, but I was like still like not in the mindset of like, I can make this into a career. I can make all money off this. I was just really just having fun. It was a joke. So the next year, next year around Christmas came around, mind you, a whole year went by and I didn't even touch the voiceovers because I was like, they don't like this idea. And I think I did like one or two more. Like I did a Alice in Wonderland one. And I think I did a Maleficent one. No, that was later. But I did like one or two more. And so Christmas came around again. And I started humming this tune called Your Man is a Bum. And I was like, girl, we need to talk. Your man is a bum. And it was basically based off The Drummer Boy. And I was like, well, let me do it again. Let's see what happens. It might do something. It might go viral. So I got my friends together. We did it again. And mind you, it went viral. And so I refilmed the first one I did. And that one went viral. And I was like, maybe I should put these on like iTunes or something. You know what I mean? And like see what happens. And I did another parody that year, Baby Daddy. So a lot of those parodies went viral. And so I had put the cartoon parodies on my Queen of the Ratchet Facebook, and they were on my Instagram page. And what happened was, because those Christmas videos were going viral, people started going back and looking at my cartoons. And those started to go viral. And I was shocked because I was like, wait a second. I didn't think people liked this. Like, they didn't like this shit when it came out. And they were like hitting. And I was like, well, maybe I should like do this more. So me and my friend Nzinga Imani, you might know her. This was right after Christmas. As I was like, yo, I want to keep this momentum going. I was like, I had this idea, like I've been doing these Disney videos and everything, and they're starting to catch on. Maybe we can do like this Little Mermaid parody. So I remember like we were filming Opposing Views at the time, which is another show I was doing. And I stayed up, like Nzinga slept in my bed, and I stayed up all night writing this parody. And I remember I finished the parody, we went to film, and then we came back and she sung the parody, and I put it out there and it went viral. And I said, oh my God, maybe I should do this. Like maybe this is a thing. Maybe it's actually finally starting to catch on. I still was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to get sued. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do it. So the first time I started doing it, I put Cruella back out there, and Cruella's voice, I literally sat with each character. When I first started doing it, I sat with Tremaine, and Tremaine used to sound like this. She was up here and she was doing a lot of stuff like this. And as I started doing Tremaine's videos and I added Cruella in, I was like, I need them to sound differently because I want the audience to be able to distinguish the two voices. So I made Tremaine sound a little lower and I made Cruella sound a little higher. And so I just started like doing the videos, and then I think my first, because I was doing the videos separately, like none of the Disney characters in my storyline had met. It was just, I was like, oh, Tremaine is like going to be like this evil, like say what she wants to say, just throw it out there, no holds barred type of girl. Cruella is going to be the same, unfiltered, but it's like she smokes a whole bunch of cigarettes. Medusa is going to be like this classy but ratchet girl. And Maleficent's going to be all about Black Lives Matter movement. Ursula's going to be this powerful Black trans woman. And so as I started to develop, I was like, well, maybe they should meet. Like, maybe they should meet. I think my first one was the one I did with Tremaine, Medusa, and Cruella. And they met up, and I was like, oh my gosh, people are really watching this. Like, I just was doing it. And it wasn't like I was trying to copy anyone, because I know there had been like the Legends panel and there had been Got to Be Real, but I was really just having fun, and my following was growing. Like on Facebook specifically, like I had got to 100K really fast. And then after I got to 100K, I got to 200K. So the videos were like popping, and I was like, I got to continue this. Like, this is something I got to keep doing. And so my page got hacked on Facebook, and I wasn't taking Instagram seriously. I was just kind of putting the videos out. I was really focusing on Facebook, and I wasn't really focusing on YouTube because my YouTube audience was really low too. And I was like, well, let me put the videos on YouTube. Christmas comes around again. We start doing Mariah Carey, and we make it a Mariah Carey year, and it became more of a brand. I was like, man, I need to do t-shirts. I need to do this. I need to do that. And a lot of it was just created organically, like, because you guys were watching the videos, and I started getting hit up like, oh my God, I'm following this like a soap opera. And so certain videos I would put out as a joke. Like the royal wedding started out as a joke. It was like, wait, what happened at the royal wedding? Like, it was like this thing of everybody anticipating the royal wedding, and then they wanted to know what happened at the royal wedding. And I was putting it out there, and I was like, man, this is this is what I was doing, because I was writing before and I was doing shows before, and naturally this became a show in itself. I said, well, I guess I got to continue this. And at first, I didn't know what happened at the royal wedding. Like a lot of that year where people were like, well, you just put out the royal wedding video. You don't know what happened at the royal wedding. I was like, you damn right. I don't know what happened at the royal wedding. I'm just kind of like going along, trying to figure it out. Like, y'all, I'm improvising as I go. And a lot of this show, the Disney storyline, has been improv. It's me just sitting here talking and doing different voices, and then something will come up, and then I'll put the video up, and then it's like, oh, you got to tell us what happened. And I'm like, oh shit, well, let's develop this and figure it out. So then I put up the royal wedding video, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm done, but I want to continue. Like, I've only tackled Cinderella and I introduced these villains, but I haven't really tackled the other stories. And so for a while, I was like, nah, I'm not going to touch it anymore. It's good. It's a classic. That whole Cinderella thing is a classic. Nobody else can touch what I just did. And I believe that. I seriously believe nobody else still can touch what that dynamic of what I did, how it came out, was great. But I wasn't done. So I was like, I want to continue this. So that's where Bella Noche's came in, and I wanted to do more Aladdin stuff because I was like, oh my God, this is great. And so Power Bottom in the Rough and like the idea of Bella Noche's being in the Aladdin storyline, it became a thing, which led to me develop it in even more. And I was like, oh, my writer brain finally kicked in, and I was like, oh, I see everything now. Bella Noche's is going to lead to Hell, which is going to lead more to Hercules' storyline. Then we're going to go back and do this. It just so happens this year, the election took place. And earlier this year, I talked to myself around January. I was like, the petty election needs to last until November. I was like, this whole thing and what it encompasses needs to last. So as the characters started to develop, and people started to relate to each character, I was like, this has a voice now, and it's starting to develop an even stronger voice. How do I capitalize off of this and also talk to these people about things that I want to talk to them about? So that's the whole idea of what happened with like the comment below, and I have a petty question came into play, where you would sit and listen to these fairy tale people talk about different pop culture things or social norms or things that were going on in the world. And people started to like that. So it was just growing as I did it, because I was like, wow, let me try this on them and see if they like it. And if they like it, I'm going to keep it. And as I started to do that, I was like, this should be a podcast. Like this is a great idea for a podcast. I want to open this world up because I don't really write. What am I trying to say? Hold on. I don't draw the cartoons. I edit them and I take it from the actual cartoon, but I'm not able to open the world up. So how can I open this world up so people can actually see it? Because what I feel like my audience, you guys, are invested in, even though you're looking at the video and you're finding it funny, I've developed such a strong foundation where I was like, okay, they know these voices. Let me open this world up on the podcast. So this whole year, I've been trying out this podcast with you, and I'm opening the world up even more into what it can become. So yeah, that's a little bit about what's going on. I'm really enjoying this. I've been doing it for a really long time, for a couple years. I really understand these characters. I really understand how they're going to react. And I really just want to fucking thank all of you. I see you guys. I can't comment on everybody's post. I'm trying to make every social media outlet differently. This year specifically, like I focused a lot more on like this year and last year. I focused a lot more on like, okay, well, I'm doing a lot of cartoons. How do we open up these voice dubs even more and showcase myself even more to people that don't necessarily look at cartoons? And that's where the animal videos came in. That's where Real Housewives of Atlanta, Beverly Hills, and all that came in. That's where the RuPaul's Drag Races came in. Is just allowing me to open it up even more, and maybe I will find something. Um, what does this brand stand for, and why did I decide to make this such a staple and such a brand as I developed it? I believe that in life, we are not allowed to fully be ourselves. And Queen of the Ratchet to me is more about just being real, honest, and speaking your mind. Whether it be the right or wrong way of saying things, it's imperfect, it's ugly, it's beautiful, it's ratchet. And sometimes I feel like Ratchet has this bad connotation to it. Ratchet, the way I spell it, I guess a lot of people have told me is like it's a wrench. But in urban culture, it's, people assume ratchet, they assume ghetto or lower class, which is not what I stand for. They also assume stereotypes, which is another thing that I don't stand for. I try to play sometimes against stereotypes. I try to play with stereotypes. I don't think stereotypes are necessarily a bad thing. I think stereotypes are just there because, people can be closed-minded. But I try to do different things. I try to open different things up to you ever so often because I'm like, oh, they think that they're coming here just to see this thing, this storyline, this certain type of way. And for me, I said, well, how can I, as an artist, I, as a creator, and I, as the queen of this thing, open this up to the possibility of them seeing it different ways and seeing comedy different ways? As far as the parodies are concerned, I've always been a writer. I've always been able to kind of write music, hear music, and everything. And with me, having actual singers, and Zinga Imani, Chelsea Regina specifically, sing these songs like they're fucking on the radio or songs that you would listen to every day is something that I wanted. I wanted my parodies to be something that you would go back and listen to over and over again, like an actual song. So the parodies came about that way, where I was like, okay, let me tackle this where I'm creating parodies that are timeless. So a lot of my content, like it's like I try to put out a lot of content daily, weekly, monthly, and a lot of it is about it being timeless. Like you going back and being like, oh yeah, remember that video? I want to go back and watch that. Or especially when Halloween and Christmas come around, you're like, oh shit. Like, I gotta go listen to that shit again. It's the type of stuff that I want you to go back out and like go into the club and play, or just like say, hey, Alexa, play Queen of the Ratchet, whatever it is. So even this year, I opened the possibility of, okay, now that we're doing parodies, now that we're doing a podcast, now that we're doing this type of music and it's on there, let's create original music, original songs, different types of things. Let me show them that I can rap. Let me show them that I can actually write different types of songs. And let me talk about different things in my parodies. Let's talk about white privilege. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about different points of views. Because I also feel with Queen of the Ratchet, it's also saying, hey, you may view the world this way. I may view the world that way, but, there's no right, there's no wrong. There's no villain, and there's no hero. We're all just trying to get through this shit. And you might get different things from it. You might only like the animal videos. You might only like a certain thing. I appreciate all you guys on what you like, on what platform that you follow. But yeah, I really just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit more. I'm going to be doing a lot more of this because the podcast is something new and I'm trying to open this world up like YouTube and Facebook. And this is something else that I'm trying to open up and just keeping it going because my goal is to make this such a staple that when you hear Queen of the Ratchet, you know what the fuck it is and you know what fucking time it is. Um, Thank you guys again. Thank you. There will be more podcasts like this. I'll be bringing people on. I'll be interviewing people and all that. But today specifically, I just wanted to come on and give you a rundown of what the hell this shit is. Cause like I'll tell people sometimes, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this show. It's called Queen of the Ratchet. They're like, huh? Queen of the what? Queen of the Ratchet. Or they'll see a shirt and they're like, what is that? I'm like, look it up. Google it. If you have one of my shirts and they're like, what is that? Because a lot of people think it's Queen, the band, because of the way the logo is, which I love Queen. And I'm like, no, you Google that. You go type in Queen of the Ratchet and you Google it. You go YouTube it and you go look at it. And a lot of people, when you tell them that, they get addicted. Like they will get addicted to the videos. They will get addicted to the content. They will get addicted to what this is. So again, I appreciate you guys telling your friends, telling your family, supporting me, sharing my shit. And there is more to come. I am not stopping as long as I'm alive. Again, make sure that you're following everything that is Queen of the Ratchet. Till next time. Bye, girls, gays, boys, and everybody. We love you all here. Mwah!